go a little bit by notes, wrote some things on the board. But my name is Gordon Hageman. I'm a realtor, not a professional speaker, any type of a business coach. And they said, hey, would you like to speak? And I said, sure. And they said, what would you like to talk about? And I had to come up with an idea. So my idea was, because I know a lot of times in this industry, and I've been guilty of it before, kind of getting shiny penny syndrome, what works, what doesn't work. You can spend a lot of money and get little results, but just trying to prove the theory that with what you do, on very little spend, you can actually make a living. And so they wanted me to use how to turn $100 into $100,000. I decided to keep that a little bit more realistic, just for simple math and things that were easily attainable for the average realtor. So I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. None of this is magic bullet type of things or anything that's groundbreaking. A lot of times they have other people's classes that are, like Dustin Hollendrake did one on open houses. So if you want to know more about open houses and really go deep into that type of thing, I recommend those type of classes. Someone last week had something awesome on Instagram. I mentioned some of these things. A lot of it's just obvious things that I think you should do, but a lot of people aren't. I think in this business too, I've noticed realtors are always really, really, really good at being busy, and sometimes not really, really, really good at producing deals or doing the right activities. So I really don't want to talk at you for an hour. Is there anything you want to know? Anything specific? Any questions? That way I can make sure to either address it now or anywhere in the future. Wow.
Not yet.
Cool. Question. The most productive way to spend your time in lead generation.
So how about we do time? I think that's important. Lead gen, we'll call it. Anything else? All of you are killing it, selling 100 houses a year. No? Okay. Cool. Well, anyways, I just want to start off with statistics. And I tried to, like I said, I tried to use really simple math. And not try to, this isn't the class on where you're going to make $1 million. Yes, you can make $1 million selling real estate and doing real estate. So, a little bit interactive. Does anyone know what $42,500 is?
Money. Average income.
Perfect. Money?
Average income.
Yep. So, that number might be a little bit higher now, but National Association of Realtors in 2016, the average realtor made $42,500 nationwide. So, not a huge number. How about this 87%? You seem like you know your numbers.
It's kind of fine-tuned when you get into some of those. 87% of those people polled would use the realtor they used before, but
that's one of these statistics. So 87%. These are all National Association of Realtor statistics. So 87% of new agents after 5 years in the business will not succeed. So in theory, depending on how long you've been in the business, like these 4 are going to make it and you are not. So
sorry, y'all.
Now you go sit over on that side of the room. All right, 70%. So 70%. I just want to give you statistics. A lot to me with real estate's just math, understanding this simple thing will help you get along. So 70%, and that's actually the amount of when they polled home sellers. 70% of home sellers only interviewed one person. So if you can get in front of somebody who wants to sell their house, there's pretty much a higher than 50-50 probability that they can list their house with you. So statistics. And how about 89%? I think you're on the right track.
89% would use their realtor again, but they don't remember who they are.
Got it. So that's actually true. 89% of people said, I would love to use my agent again. I'd love to recommend my agent again. And depending on the poll, about 17 to 22% actually do so. So, and just for simple time and math, that is the average home price as of last month in Phoenix Metro. So that's taking into account Scottsdale PV, Santan Valley. So 316,000.
What was 17 to 22?
The amount of people that were polled. So 89% said they would use their realtor again or recommend. And 17 to 22% actually do.
Actually do use them.
No.
No, actually.
What?
Actually give a recommendation.
Give a or use
Or
them
use them
again.
again.
So, and like I said, just for simple math, and I sometimes I like to use low numbers just because I know a lot of times when people speak, they like to use big sexy numbers. I just wanted to keep things simple. So I just use simple math. we're racking up a $72,000 a year. So a $200,000 sales price, hoping that sellers are being generous, paying 3%. So if you just do one deal a month, $72,000. So that's a gross number. So obviously I would always save for taxes and that type of thing. So any questions on this stuff? I just like to start off with numbers. A lot of times people don't know these type of things.
I want to ask a question.
Uh-oh.
So you say-
You're the intuitive one. That's good.
Okay, so you say sellers being generous with 3%?
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of 2.5s, some lovely 2s. I've seen some 1s. So, and I've seen some dollar amounts in there too every once in a while. So perfect.
Okay, thank you.
Got it. All right. So I think the number one, and I think that's awesome, when you're looking at production, time, definitely your most valuable asset. So a lot of things I'm going to be talking about are things that are free, relatively free, maybe almost free. I don't necessarily think time is free, but as far as money coming out of your pocket. So I'd say protect your time, and I know there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of bus tours you can go on to look at houses. Any other things that you guys do on a normal basis that you say is a good or bad use of your time? And a lot of this is just obvious things. I'm just trying to make you be interactive and get you all to come up with your own conclusion of how you can make money. I'm going to help you along a little bit. Open houses. So open houses, I would say that's a good use of your time, depending. Anything else? We had a quiet group, so everyone should get up and be a little bit exciting. So, but I'd say time. So like with me, my personal time, I time block my time. So I use a Google Calendar, which is free, and I time block everything in my calendar ahead of time. I time block usually during the week when I eat lunch. I time block when my appointments are going to be. I time block my prospecting time. I time block my gym time. A lot of people don't do that, and their day gets away from them, and at the end of the day, it's 5 or 6 o'clock, and a lot of other fun things come up, and then you have done nothing real estate, and then that snowballs into weeks, and all of a sudden, the car payment comes, your mortgage payment comes, and you can't pay those type of bills. So, time is probably your most valuable asset, and choosing the right activities. And like I said, I've, along the way, probably chosen some not so great activities, like being, I'm trying to think of a not so good activity. I'm going to use bus tours as an example. I was thinking on things on the way here. And I've gone on bus tours before, and usually it's to promote my listing, but I've been on bus tours where people are just there to ride on a bus and look at homes and eat a free lunch. So stay away from those type of things as far as time. That's your most valuable asset. And I think the next biggest thing is how to get the business, but do you know what to say to those people? Anybody? No. Okay. Wow. Quiet is.
What was it? The question was what?
No, I'm just saying, like, what to say.
Are you talking about scripts or?
Scripts?
Yeah, okay.
Do you know where to get good scripts? Do you have anything specific that you use?
I honestly am not really a script person.
Okay.
It's kind of natural, like,
Okay.
yeah. I found that I get hung up on when I go by scripts.
Okay. Got it. I mean, I personally recommend scripts, and I'll kind of get into, at the end, kind of 10 things that I really think if you do these simple things and you follow it on a day-to-day basis and hold yourself true to it, or even getting an accountability partner.
I have a question regarding time blocking, and because I've really tried to implement time blocking into my daily schedule. What I find is, like, do you have any tricks on how to really enforce it? Because I'll see a number come through that I don't recognize, so I answer it. It could be a potential client. Even though I tell myself turn your ringer off, phone down, like, it's still hard to do that.
Yeah.
And then that call ends up being some type of distraction, it pulls me away from what I'm doing, takes longer, and it's nothing even related to real estate sometimes, or it might be something, but it's a waste of my time type of call. Like, so what?
I just answered your question. So.
No, but how do you have strict guidelines that you follow to help make your time blocking the most effective?
I have strict guidelines to a certain extent. Do I always adhere 100% to them? No. But usually from 9:30 to 10:30, and like I said, there's going to be one-offs where you get a buyer that has cash and they're going to buy a house today. When I say, hey, hold off till 4 o'clock, I need to, no. But for the most part, from 9:30 to 10:30, like, I'm on the phones. And I try to get my calls done early in the day, because I've done it before where I've tested it. Sometimes I've done it later in the day, and what I find in most times in the day, the farther the day gets along, that's really when all the stuff all the stuff starts to hit the fan. All of a sudden it's 5 o'clock and my wife wants me home, my kids want me home, and I've done absolutely nothing. So I would say protect your time. And I'd say put it in a calendar. Find something that works for you. Like I use a Google Calendar, and let's say for appointments. I mean, I call my prospecting time more my like appointment setting time, and my goal is to fill appointments that I already have blocked into my schedule. So usually, like if you looked at my schedule, certain days of the week, like I'll have it says open appointment on Monday from 2:30 to, let's say 2:30 to 3, and that usually gives some time, assuming that I need to travel from point A to point B. And then I'll have another appointment from X to X. And so when I'm on the phones, my goal with my appointment setting time is to set appointments. Like I usually don't just call people to check in. There's an intention to my call. Usually it's to get a listing appointment, get a buyer, some type of a buyer appointment, get it in front of them to where I'm actually doing something, setting an appointment. So does that help you a little? I mean, I can get a little bit more specific.
No.
So I mean, you're truly going to hold yourself accountable. And I said, this is not a magic bullet class. A lot of this hopefully might be an aha moment where it's like I need to make a little bit of tweaks here and there in my business and my life to ultimately give yourself a little bit of productivity to where you cannot end up being a statistic and having to go back and do something else, or if you're a part-time Uber driver, stop driving Uber and doing that type of thing. So, perfect. As far as scripts, I know, and I don't like scripts either, but a lot of times half the battle is knowing what to say, and kind of in part, and I might add, I would say that there's going to be 10 things at the end, but I might get to them a little bit ahead of time. But one of it is practicing your scripts. So when people ask you something, you know what to say, but practicing them so they don't sound canned. Like getting that call from someone in the Philippines who you can obviously tell is just reading something, and you're like, I know you're reading this, my name's not Mr. So-and-so, and I don't live in Tempe. So good, I said something funny, people laugh, that's awesome. So as far as scripts, and I use, like, and I'm a big fan, and if you Google, actually just Google real estate scripts, and like I said, that might seem really, really obvious. A lot of great things will come up. I have a script book that I use. I like scripts. I like Mike Ferry scripts. So if you just Google Mike Ferry scripts, you can go to MikeFerry.com, and actually there's a section on there. If you also might look around, you can download scripts. So there's buyer scripts, seller scripts. There's scripts on like listing appointments, things like that. But finding, like, especially you're in this class, and I know some of you look like you might be here together, but finding someone to practice them with, whether it be in person, on the phone. That way when you actually get in front of people, your calls are productive, as opposed to getting in front of somebody, you get all excited, you have a seller, and you say the wrong things, and you don't get the appointment, you hang up, and then you have that moment, man, I wish I would have said this, and this, when if you probably, hopefully, would know what to say, get the appointment. So I like scripts. So peace on that. And it's free. You can go to like MikeFerry.com. He's a real estate coach. TomFerry.com actually has scripts as well. So scripts are awesome.
And there's YouTube
And there's YouTube.
for everything.
I kind of say GTS, which is Google that shit. So. So Google's awesome, YouTube. If you like something free, I want to be more exciting for you, because she keeps yawning.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, it might be me. Like I said, I'm not a professional speaker. I do this every day in and out. I'm a real estate agent just like you. So I'm not, as I said, if you have questions, if something's not resonating with you, if you want me to go a little bit deeper into something, please let me know. So. Another cool thing too that is free, and we'll get into that as far as things that I like to do. I'm a big fan, and I steal a lot of things from different, I'm going to call coaching organizations without necessarily having to pay them. Have everyone heard of Brian Buffini? Cool. I don't pay Brian Buffini at all. His big thing is sphere of influence and like past clients and type of things like that. So handwritten cards are absolutely, I think, awesome, because people don't do it anymore. Like I think a good thing that I found out lately. Last time it was your birthday. How many people actually sent you something in a mail, or actually picked up the phone and called you? Usually now with Facebook, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, and then I've had 5,000 happy birthday messages, and my mom doesn't even call me anymore. So, but I would say the dollar store too is absolutely one of my best friends. And if I find cards that I like, I fill the shopping cart up with them, and the people look at me really funny, and they have to ring them up one by one, and my receipt's about 20 feet long. So, dollar store is cool for that type of thing. And if you don't know what to write on them, Google 12 thank you notes guaranteed to generate real estate leads. So, and it will come up, and it's actually, I think it's from an Inman News.
12 what?
12 thank you notes guaranteed to generate real estate leads. So, some people are like, well, great, I got thank you cards. Now, what do I write? If you're not good at thinking of that type of stuff, download this and write, hello, so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. Thank you, your name, throw in a card, put a stamp on, send it off in the mail. And a lot of this stuff, too, YouTube was an awesome place to, I use YouTube a lot, and I'm going to call it R&D, which is,
That's what Tom said.
yeah, which is,
Rip off and deploy.
yeah. That's actually rip off and duplicate. So there's a lot of great things out there, a lot of people that are doing things that are really high level that like to share what they're doing. And I think sometimes that I find people take way too much time to try to reinvent the wheel. So if you want to do a flyer, you could sit there for an hour and try to make a flyer. Or you could find a flyer that someone says, hey, this flyer works. You take that flyer off, and there's a website called Fiverr.com. Two R's at the end. So Fiverr.com. So basically it's a place, very inexpensive, where freelance people go to look for work. So you could say, hey, I like this flyer, I want it duplicated. Here's my picture and my logo. And depending on the person, 15 minutes later, you know, and it can range. It's called Fiverr because a lot of times it's $5. But you have that flyer back, and then you send it to your printer and get it printed. So, anything else? Questions, comments? Nothing?
Fiverr's good for a lot of stuff. I had a big Excel project I needed, and macros put into a table, and I got it done real cheap there.
Got it. Yep. So I like Fiverr too. And I think a lot of times what people don't do is leverage the people that are there to help us. And I know, especially here at my home group, they've done a really good job, you know, with power partners. But getting involved with those people, you know, be it lawyers, title, VIP mortgage, who else? Anyone power partners?
Guild Mortgage.
Guild Mortgage. But asking them, you know, hey, how can I help your business? And I'm a real big fan of being reciprocating, because I've seen a lot of people in this business. It's what can you give me, what can you give me, what can you give me? And I think a general rule of thumb, if you're there to help somebody else, they'll genuinely help you. So taking the Liz from Ansky's and actually saying, hey, what tools do you have that for me that can help my business? And sometimes it's as simple, and it might cost you $5, or if it's nice enough, they'll take you out for a cup of coffee. But utilizing those type of resources, because they're there to help you, and instead of me saying, hey, I want to do a home seller's guide, and you could come up with all the fun content and everything for a home seller's guide, or just for this exercise specifically, I emailed Madison Beline with Lawyer's Title, and I said, hey, can you send me seller's guides and buyer's guides? And she said, I need your picture, and she already has, and I have my team logo and our other logo, and they were delivered to my house, I think, the day afterwards. So these are really great things, because when now you've got the appointment, because you've used your scripts, you're meeting with them, and I think sometimes giving something of value, or a lot of times getting in front of people, just to do a simple buyer or seller presentation. And I would recommend getting familiar with the book before you sit it in front of them. But in here, there's sample, I mean, just describing the escrow process, describing everything from all the sample documents. But it looks professional, it is professional, a buyer and seller guides. So Lawyer's Title, I has those for you too. Suppose you get a listing, they can do basically property profile things for you too. So great things when you're sitting in front of a listing presentation. I guess just something that you can, and these are really common, so it's not like reinventing the wheel, but just trying to kind of get at things that you can do that I think most people aren't leveraging. So title partners, lending partners. So you get that listing, and and this has everything in it about that home specifically, things you can leave in the house. But this cost me absolutely nothing, and a lot of sellers actually think these are pretty cool, even though they're really common. So
how long did it take you to generate that?
I asked for this on Monday. When I got home last night, it was sitting in a big envelope at my front door. So generally pretty quick. And with that too, so these people are there to help you, but I come at it with my opinion, with how can I help your business, and how can I, if you just go at it with me, which a lot of people do, but I wouldn't. So, but as far as flyers go, a lot of times people are, hey, I need a flyer. They can do, these are from VIP. These are just generic, and everything doesn't have to be pretty. I think a lot of times people get hung up with everything needs to be pretty, but if you're not selling any houses or not doing a large amount of business, sometimes just simple is really good. So everything from just listed flyers to if you're working with, let's say, first time, you want to focus on first time home buyers, you can get ones on down payment assistance. This one just for the specific house shows all the payments and what your down payments will be. There's one on down payment assistance programs. And I just, just to show you how simple, I've done, this is one I just did. I sold 2 houses in a neighborhood in a short period of time, and I'm a big door knocker. And so I just simply came up with something real simple, and I got 2 calls off of it. So just when you do flyers, my thing, don't give out all the information. Give people a reason to call.
You said you are a big door knocker?
Mm-hmm. So I like it. Some people.
That's $100 a month. He wears his pair of shoes out a month. No.
I do. I actually don't wear these shoes door knocking. So, but just like I said, I made this on a Word document.
When you door knock, do you wear a name tag?
I don't, but I advocate that type of thing. I mean, I think sometimes the cheesiest stuff really works. Especially a lot of people in this business don't want to appear salesy. And I don't know how many, I have worn a name tag before, but how many times you're standing with your name tag in a Starbucks, and the person next to you is hopefully looking at your name tag, and they say, oh, you're a realtor, and the first question out of their mouth is,
how's the market?
Perfect. So, but I think that's where coming back into scripts works. So you don't turn to them and go, it's good, right? And I've been in that situation before because I think it's fun. Or I'm standing in line and I'm not wearing a name tag, and there's a realtor in front of me and say, how's the market? And they turn to me and go, it's good. And they turn back around and buy their coffee. So, with the scripts, right? It's good. Well, great, it's good. Well, what are you looking to do? Because right now, if you're looking to buy, it's tough. If you're looking to sell, probably absolutely awesome. If they might be looking to rent, it's tough. So if you just answer, it's good, and then you turn back around, you just had a prime opportunity to ask specific questions, know specifically what to say. And you might roll through a whole bunch of scripts, and they turn around and go, great, hey, I'm a realtor too, and they were doing the same things that I like to do. So, perfect. And if you want to, door knocking is part of actually what, I personally, I know a lot of people have a fear of doing it. But I also think a lot of people have a fear of not being able to pay your bills. So, if it was door knocking, getting a little bit outside your comfort zone, learning scripts, know what to say, and maybe sometimes with me, I door knock sometimes places that I have no reason to be.
And how is the reception?
Depends. Depends on my message and I guess the person. So.
So when you have your flyer,
Okay.
you door knock, or do you just put the flyer on the door?
Kind of depends what I'm looking to do. What I would recommend that you knock, my thing, at least 10 doors a week. And just in simple math, that's 40 doors a month, and what's 40 times 12? So 480, so 500 homes a year. But if I have a reason to knock doors, it's a lot easier. So open houses are awesome. Even a home that is just good.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No.
So
you have, you just randomly select in a subdivision 10 doors to knock on? Or do you go and put that flyer on every door in the subdivision and knock on just 10?
Depends on the subdivision, because I have a geographic farm, and a lot of stuff is stuff, like when I say low cost, I've been doing this a while, I have a little bit of money to play with, but like I farm 3,700 homes in a subdivision. So no, I don't flyer 3,700 doors. But when I have a listing, leverage your listing. You have your billboard in someone's front yard. Knock on, I usually say 10 doors to the right, 10 doors to the left, across the street, 10 doors, across the street, 10 doors. Knock on the door. You can either, let's say your flyer is an open house flyer. Hey, so-and-so, I'm so-and-so with my home group. I'm doing an open house from 1 to 3 on Saturday. I just wanted to invite you. Hey, do you happen to know anybody that might be interested in being your neighbor or buying a home in our neighborhood? Well, no. Oh, okay, awesome. Hey, and then if you want to get into scripts, Mike Ferry scripts. Oh, so then you can get into that dialogue too. You've now broken the ice. You have a reason to be there because you're doing an open house. And as long as I guess they're not being an a-hole and you want to proceed, how long have you lived here? How did you choose this neighborhood? Have you ever had any thoughts of selling? Do you know what your home was worth? And sometimes people will just say, shut up and slam the door. But that's just part of door knocking. But then the next person, I guarantee you, will either invite it'll be some, old lady that'll invite you in and give you water and talk to you for 3 hours. In which case, sometimes then my door knocking ends because I only allotted myself 2 hours. So, and I find that door knocking when it's 110 degrees, even though it really sucks, actually I get the best reception. So.
Yeah, people are like, what are you doing?
Usually I carry a bag and I have my flyers, and I'd say usually by the end of door knocking, I have about 20 things of water in my bag. So, questions about door knocking? Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you do it when you have an open house, and you knock the area just so that you have some people coming in your open house?
I would say I do it for open houses. I do it for all my new listings. I've done it before when I did not have listings. After a home is sold and that sign is now out of the ground,
Yeah.
I have then knocked at the doors. Hey, your neighbor's home sold for X period of time and X period of days. Have you had any thoughts of selling? Or want to know what your home's worth? Because if you ever noticed or just paid attention, when one home sells, within X amount of month period, other homes are popping up. And if most agents, I guarantee you, because I live in a subdivision too, and homes around me sell that aren't my listings, and I rarely get 0 from any other realtors, because that sign that pops up is usually not the person who listed the house, it's somebody else. So you can take a listing, home sells, let's say, and I'd probably pick listings that sold in a timely period. Don't pick a dog. Wait till the sign comes down, because the last thing you want to do, my opinion, is start knocking on doors when that person's sign with their phone number is there, and you're like, hey, your neighbor's home sold. Did you sell the home? No, but they did, and you help them get business. Because once that sign's down,
it's public record now.
It's public record, and I would say guarantee you that realtor did 0 type of advertising, probably didn't do any open houses. So once that sign comes down, the neighbor out of sight, out of mind. So now.
Okay, so you knock on the door, and do you have what do you give them anything, or just knock on the door without?
Yeah, I always want to give them something, because a lot of times people, you give them your spiel, and they half listen to you, and then you give them something, because when you want them to contact you.
Yeah, so you give them like maybe something with the last sales in the last year in their.
Yeah. I would specifically what you're trying to accomplish. You want to do something that is intriguing to people and gives people a reason to call you.
Yeah. So
hey, this home, and you might do a little homework. This home sold for a record price in 1 day. Wow.
What is your home worth?
What's your home
there.
worth? Hey, this home just sold, $80,000 below sales price in 384 days. You're interested in selling. And like, that's kind of weird that you're knocking on my door. So I'd see if you're going to go that route, I'd be a little bit picky and choosy on what you're knocking. But leverage your listing.
What route?
What was that?
You said if you're gonna go that.
No, like the door knocking route.
Oh, okay.
Pick something. If you're gonna
Pick something good to talk about.
Pick something. There you go. See, I'm glad I have
Yeah,
that.
you want a good story to tell when you're at the door.
Is there a specific price point that you find works better than others with door knocking?
No, I would say as long as the neighborhood, just make sure it's, I would call it like a knockable
Why is that a dominant agent?
I mean, I've, to be honest with you, yeah, I mean, you might not want to be, if you're gonna go up in a subdivision with a dominant agent and you don't have a track record anywhere, what you do is not gonna hold a lot of weight. It's like, oh, so-and-so dominates in this neighborhood and they get talking with you, how many homes you sell last year? You're like, 3. And you're like, well, great, awesome. I'm gonna hire so-and-so, he sold 300. But as far as the being knockable, a lot of times gated communities, and I got in trouble knocking in Sun Lakes, which is a retirement community, because they have a big, and I didn't know this until after about 3 old people yelled at me, but I guess there's a big no soliciting sign in there, and the sheriff's department came, and I had to go take a few flyers off buildings. So as long as they're knockable, like gated,
Nothing better to do.
they don't.
And gated communities are kind of iffy.
Yeah, I mean, unless you
Yeah.
live in the gated community, if you have a listing in the gated community, maybe someone with my home group has a listing in a gated, I mean, I guess if you need to kind of have a reason to be there. I know some people in the past have, like, if you want to look for renters, have knocked apartment complexes, but I know sometimes apartment complexes aren't real, they don't want people in there flying in doors. So, and I guess it depends on the neighborhood too. Like, if you choose, I mean, I think the easiest are, like, condominiums, townhomes are absolutely, they're real easy. Or a lot of, like, those homes with the 4,000 or 5,000 square foot lots. Cause I've door knocked some acres, I've door knocked some, and you can hit a lot more doors.
Yeah.
If you're door knocking like acres, I mean, there's a long.
It's a long way from door to door.
You know, up
Good
the walk,
exercise.
down the walk, down, up the walk, down the walk,
Yeah, right.
up the walk, down the walk, so. But a lot of times your title, and if you want to door knock neighborhoods, I guess if you want, let's say go into a neighborhood that you have no reason to be there, you might want to get with your title company and get a list, see what the turnover is in that neighborhood. I mean, you might not want to go spend a lot of time in a neighborhood that doesn't have a lot of turnover, but pick something that, you know, probably has a 6% plus turnover every year. That way, these people are selling. If you're going to door knock a neighborhood, you don't have any listing, and one home is sold in the past 300, let's say a year, you're just going to go into my, waste paper. So, but I would say for me, door knocking, I'm going to call it like normal. I call it like normal people houses. Like people that have normal jobs, normal families, that they get it, because you're out there working hard, they just got home from working hard, they get it, and some people I said are just, they're not gonna care if you need you, but they're gonna respect the fact that you're out there working hard, it's 120 degrees, and they just got home probably from maybe working out where it was 120 degrees as well. So,
How about a time? Is there a time to do it? Late.
when people are home.
5
So,
o'clock?
either early in the morning, maybe before as people are heading out the door, which some people might be in a rush, so you might, you might be pissed. I mean, the goal is to get in front of people. I wouldn't go knock unless it's on a Saturday, 10 o'clock, everyone's gonna be at work. So if anything, then you're just gonna end up just passing out flyers, which I do as well, so.
No, there's a company, I can't, if we're all about, saving time, there's a company, if you're not gonna actually talk
Oh,
and
yeah.
script with there's some company, I've used it before.
Flyer
$20
Arizona Flyer
Flyer
guy.
guys.
Yep,
Yeah.
$20 and it'll deliver, to about 100 to 200 properties.
You know, it's a different one I looked at, they do 500 for $89. AZ
Okay,
Flyer
yeah,
guy does
that's
for
right.
for $90 they do 500 flyers. I just did them around my open house. And the problem with that is you never really know, you never
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
comfortable if they really delivered 500.
Yeah, yeah.
But I actually got one call from someone, 6 doors down that is a listing lead for next year. Because he's not ready this year, he bought a lot, he's designing his house, and then he's gonna be ready to sell. So all I had to do is just follow up with that guy. But
Yeah.
so I know at least one guy delivered. But
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
500
what
flyers.
you-
I mean, I might have gone and I might have done the 10 doors down, 10 doors on either side, and I might have picked that guy up. But I'm not walking 500 doors.
Yeah.
High school kids will do it for $25 to
Yeah.
get the flyers.
So, I mean, a lot of this might take a little bit of you thinking outside the box. But I look at it, there's check equity and sweat equity. And sometimes there's somebody that may have just gotten into the business that didn't, say, plan very well, and they quit their other job, and now they're a real estate agent, and they don't have that money to do it. Where if you choose the right neighborhood, I mean, realistically in an hour, I can probably do about 200 homes if I'm just flyering.
Oh, okay.
And plus with flyer guys, and I get them on my door, it's usually your stuff and the
And
stuff
several
for like
others.
other people. And they literally just go like
Band them up,
this, right? Like when I do flyers, I like doors that don't have good door seals.
Yes.
I like stick my flyer in so they can see it from the inside.
wraps around you.
Because in this day and age, people don't use their front doors anymore. They go in the
No.
garage, they drive in, they close the garage, and then the only time they ever pick the stuff up at their door
Is when somebody's door knocking.
they go to pick up their Amazon and it fall, and it falls on the ground and I've you know, if you're out doing it, you'll walk up to doors and there's 20 other flyers in the door and ones that are on the ground, and ones from 3 months ago.
So what did you say, is the guy's number AZ Flyer Guy?
Arizona Flyer Guy. I think it's like azflyerguy.com.
If you look at, oh, it's a website, okay.
Yeah. And they can, I mean, if you want, they can print for you for a cost, and I want to say it's 20, I want to say it's like 15 cents a door, I think, or 7
I
cents.
remember,
Or your
I didn't have mine
title-
printed
your
there, so.
Title can print for you.
I mean, depending on what you're,
Well, it,
Yeah, depending on your title service, and then you just will pay the charge.
or if you wanted,
They will print it for free?
if it advertises the title company on it, they've gotta have their.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, there's always a cost to it, but let's say, oh, I just got a listing, I want to hire blah blah, you know, Arizona Flyer Guy, and it meets your budget, and you just call, hey, hey Liz, I have this listing at 1234 Banana Street. Can you print out a flyer? And they turn around and send you a flyer, and then I think you have with Arizona Flyer Guys, I think you have to take it and deliver it.
Well, yeah, so I actually just did this like 2 weeks ago, and the title company I was using, First Arizona Title, they charge you, it's peanuts. I mean, for 500 flyers, it was $2, and I don't, it was peanuts, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it
really?
was almost nothing, and they will deliver it to Arizona Flyer Guys. Because I was out of town the week before my listing was gonna go live, so I'm getting all this set up while I'm in Washington DC, getting it all prepped so that when I got back into town Wednesday night, my flyers are already delivered, ready to be delivered on Friday, because I couldn't have done it in that, so 2 days.
There you go. So there's the check equity version, or you can do the sweat equity version.
Yeah.
And get out. And a lot of times too, like when I'm flyering, and sometimes the best conversations that I have are the lady that's walking her dog and not even in front of her house.
Yeah.
And you walk by and, hey, how are you doing? Oh, what are you doing? I'm passing out. What kind of flyer are you passing out? Oh, I just listed this house. Oh, what house? And then they start asking you questions. And just if it's a neighborhood, especially you want to do a lot of business in, people see you, you see your neighbors. It's a good way just to get out and about. So when you do have your listing sign and your beautiful mug up on your sign, like, oh, I've seen that guy. Oh, that guy works really hard. And I've gotten listings off this cheesy flyers like this. And one guy, and I live in Seville, which is in Gilbert, and there's 51 of these modern style houses that sell really quick. And I listed one that sold. I flyered all 51 homes. Anyone know what next door is? That website? Like this old guy, Virgil Renz, went on there and absolutely just annihilated me for all these flyers and these vultures and da da da. And then a gentleman named Tim called me, lived 4 doors down, had me over for a listing, and I said, why'd you choose me? And it's because you're out working hard when, in his perception of realtors, they were all lazy pieces of something. So, anyways, he called me and I listed his house and sold it just for a simple flyer. I sold your neighbor's house in X amount of days. He lived 1 street over, so.
Do you ever farm businesses or institutions like?
Give me an example.
So I just did a school calendar that the title company pays for.
Okay.
But I laminated them so that they go in every teacher's inbox.
Okay.
With information on me, obviously title company, but also ask me about are you familiar with the teacher down payment assistance program? If not,
I haven't done it. I've considered doing it, like, because my subdivision has a school. If you wanted to work, and if you might have a heart, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you might have a passion for something. If you have a passion, I know right now that Red for Ed is really popular. But if you have a passion for teachers, I mean, that's a pretty. If you can get in with the school as a part. Sometimes a lot of companies have like what we call like wellness programs, and it's not just wellness as far as health, but wellness financially. But getting in with them, and if you have a passion for teachers and have a reason to be there.
Go to the teacher's strike.
Yeah. So I know a lot of people are doing red thread. A lot of people are leveraging that heavily on social media right now. So are we done with door knocking? Any more questions? Door knocking. I mean, I'll talk about it. It's like this class is more for you and ideas, and I'm just trying to. You all know the answers. I'm just trying to help you uncover them. Cool. All right. So as far as free goes, are all of you on the daily dose? Hopefully, yes. All of you. Raise your hands. Got it. I would recommend it. It's free, and sometimes, and I try to listen to it every day. Sometimes it depends on the content. Sometimes what they're talking about really resonates. Sometimes it doesn't. So it's going to be hit or miss on what kind of things you might want to listen to. Obviously, you know about Workshop Wednesdays. So if you really want to get deep into certain things, like I know the class before this was wholesaling. They've done ones on Instagram. I'm sure they've done ones on farming as well. YouTube. Subscribe to the Tom Ferry Show. If you haven't, it's free. He's a real estate coach. I'd say almost the same thing as with the Daily Dose. Sometimes you might turn it on and watch it and it doesn't resonate with anything that's happening in your real estate life. But a lot of times it does, or it might give you an idea. If anything, his speaking is very inspirational. So if you get up in the morning and you're not a morning person, I like to watch it in the morning. Just sometimes it's nice to get a fresh smiling face on my computer screen as well. I do recommend taking classes, but be picky with the classes that you're going to take. There's a lot of, anyways, I'm on everybody's mailing list, and there's a ton of classes. And if you're going to take classes, take things that you think might enhance your business. If you haven't gone to a class, the Cromford Report, everyone know what the Cromford Report is? So I think that's an absolutely awesome class. You can subscribe to the Cromford Report, or you can just find a title company or lender pretty much every month or every other month that you can go sit. And it's usually about an hour and a half to 2 hours. It's very interactive. But if you want to know what's going on with the market, it's an awesome view of what's going on with the market. So when you got that Starbucks and somebody says, how's the market, you can speak and sound very educated and not just say, oh, I think the market's good, and go off on a tangent. It's actually speaking to people. So you can be the authority. So Crawford Report, if you have a class that you can take every month, I would do that one as well. So how many of you are on YouTube, Facebook, all that? How many of you do live videos? 2 hands. Cool. Because regardless if you like it or not, this is probably the most powerful marketing tool right now known to man. And nobody likes the way they look on camera, me included. But get over it, because eventually, hopefully, you've done such a good job that you've got.
Guess what? It's the way you look.
Exactly. No, it is. I mean, eventually, you're going to get in front of these people, and they're going to realize that the picture on your card is from 20 years ago, and it's not you anymore. But they're going to. There's no. I don't like the way I look, and well, I don't like the way I look. Nobody likes the way they look on camera, but just believe it or not, Google's the #1 most used website right now, probably in the world, if not the United States. Facebook's the second most, which it might go down now because of all the crap that happened last week or the week before. But Facebook Live, it's awesome. And Facebook video is awesome, and text messaging and video is awesome. So I know a lot of people want to hide behind that, but just get used to it. And standing in front of your open house like this, or this one's from a different title company. I went to a class on video a long time ago. And I pulled that out on my desk, but they gave me a really nice selfie stick. So if you want to do the nice cool selfie sticks as well. But I don't think a lot of people use Facebook as much as they should. And I think a huge portion, think about it, your sphere, your friends, your family, and I don't know how many friends. Some people have 100 friends on Facebook, some have 400 friends, 500,000. Those are people, for the most part, that like you, trust you, that know you, but those are usually the last people that we ask for any type of help with our business. We want to go, which is fine, we want to go knock on doors, we want to find new business, and then we overlook the people that would probably, like your mom, that would probably hand your business cards out to everybody and go, my daughter's a realtor. So, believe it or not. So, Facebook Live, but I don't know anything to Facebook Live about. hi, this is Gordon. I'm in front of my open house at 1234 Main Street. Blah, blah, blah. Do a Facebook Live. And people will say, hey, interact, say hearts, and you can talk to people. Do Facebook Live, I would say at least once a week on your business page, but make sure to share it to your personal page. Because on your Facebook business page, that's not where people go to interact, that's where people go to shop. So that's not where you're going to get your, probably to get your referrals. So, any questions? Anybody have fear of video? Got it. Why are you scared of video? I'm gonna call you out. So, I mean, it's not my thing either. And I know there's a lot of people like, is it Steve Panate? Everyone know the Steve Panate show? Like, he's really, really good at video, and he does a phenomenal job, and it's extremely fancy. But fancy doesn't always equate to.
Go look at his YouTube channel back at the beginning,
Yeah.
if you want to see.
Yeah, it's probably evolved.
Yeah.
But you'd be surprised. And even to this day, I get a lot of business from Facebook, and it's a lot of times it's people like literally. I just sold a girl that I dated 25 years ago in high school that I haven't talked to for 25 years, just from seeing my posts out, and I've been probably friends with her on Facebook since I went on Facebook. She says, hey, my parents want to sell their house in Central Phoenix, and she just sees all my posts. And someone I haven't spoke to in 25 years, and literally, like, dated, it was one day, so she probably doesn't even remember me, and I don't really remember her. She says, hey, my parents want to sell a house, so I sold their $400,000 house in Central Phoenix, and then they bought a $250,000 condo in Central Phoenix, but all from Facebook, not anything fancy. I mean, there's even times when I'm in, just as far as Facebook and pictures, like I'm in a listing and there's a green avocado toilet. Picture, green avocado toilet. Just shows people like, and there's ways to do it that aren't salesy. It's just saying, hey, I'm a realtor, this is what I'm doing. You're not asking for people to engage, you're not asking for people's business, but inevitably, wow, I see all of Gordon's posts, and he's a realtor, and then all of a sudden that one day you post something and they have a need, and then people, so. I advocate video because the trend is going there, how people consume their information, where a lot of people used to consume things via magazines, via newspapers, and that's almost depleted. The open rate on emails is absolutely horrible, but the open rate on text messages and the use of Facebook, Instagram is insane. So even as far as video and text messaging, so text messaging is awesome. Like a great script is, hi, blank, the market is hot and home prices are up. Curious about what your home is worth. Send. Better to do it on a video and make it personal. So cool. Video, just do it and you're gonna suck and you're gonna hate yourself and you're gonna hate the way it looks until but then your phone's gonna ring and you're gonna say, hi, oh, I haven't talked to you, I saw your Facebook video at your open house, and you're gonna go, wow, I love video, and you'll do more of it. If you don't have one, find a mentor. And it doesn't have to be a mentor that's selling 100 homes a year. Find someone that's, if you're selling 10 homes a year, find someone that's selling 20. If you're selling 20, find someone that's selling 50. Just someone you can bounce ideas off of. And for the most part, there's, 64,000 licensed people that can do real estate in the state of Arizona. Hopefully there's somebody out there that will take the time to sit down with you if you buy them a cup of coffee and you come with a list of, 3 questions. What's the top thing that you're doing in your business? But people will share with you, and I think a lot of times people are scared to ask for help. The ship's going down, and you're just going to go down with it, or you say, you know what, I'm not doing what I think I could do, what I'm not capable of doing. Who's doing it at a level that I think? And if you call people, especially within this group, or even outside this group, and hopefully they're nice enough to sit down and just share with you kind of what's going on as well. I advocate teams. I know sometimes people's big hang up is I don't want to share, depending on the splits, I don't want to share 50 to 70% of my money. We just remember 0% of 0 is 0. So, and I have a small team, and I've been on teams before. But people sit down with me, and their first is, "What's your commission split?" And I say, "Have a nice day." move along, because that's not the value that I bring. And then they go and they join another team, and I've had people come back to me after a while. It's like, oh, I went to a 90-10, and I never met the team. I never met the team. The team leader never met with me, and I sold one deal, and I never saw anybody. So if you could find a mentor, join a team, I'd recommend it as well. I'm kind of running out of material. Do you have any questions? Anything pressing? More door knocking stuff? More Facebook stuff?
How do I spend that $100 again?
Yeah, cool. I just tried to and realistically, $100 is $100. You have $25 you probably pay to my home group. Also, all of you have a CRM. That's the most important thing that I was going to bring up. CRM. Everyone have one? Everyone, hopefully.
Which one do you use?
I use Follow Up Boss. I actually use Follow Up Boss for all of my past clients and sellers, and I run all of my business through Boomtown. But if you want the most absolutely cost-effective one out there right now, Lion Desk. It's $25 a month, and for that $25, it's very, 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 very robust. It can run drip campaigns. You can do mass emails through it, but absolutely awesome. So that took us down to $50. I didn't count anything, like you have to have your cell phone anyways, so I'm not going to add that in. You have to have a car anyways, but things like that. She made me come up with a catchy. She came in, I need a catchy thing. I said, all right, $100 a month, $72.
What are your thoughts on like doing grassroots events? Worth your time?
Do you have a passion for it?
I like going to them. Like I like meeting people, like it's a face-to-face interaction.
Yep.
I think it's picking and choosing the right events where it's more of a family atmosphere. People are gonna slow down, trying to get a booth near the kids' entertainment area.
So you have a lot of good ideas, and I think if you have a passion for them, do them. Because I see a lot of people just doing things that they have zero passion for. And when you have zero passion for something, it shows that you're trying hard to have a passion for it. So if there's a grassroots something and something that you're really, I'm vegan and I love vegan food, and you can do a vegan event, but you're into it.
Well, I think
It's
there's
natural.
always, if you choose a neighborhood, an area that you really want to be in, and always attending all of their events. And the city usually has, a price for all of the events, but it's committing yourself to all of them. So people that go to those kinds of things, they go to all of them, usually. I mean, as long as they're not out of town.
Yeah, they're not really cost behind a lot of that, but like my HOA specifically, they have they have an Easter egg hunt, and they have all these, and a lot of times they're totally open to having sponsors.
Yeah, it's like $150 for the whole event, or you can buy a reduced rate for all the events that city might be hosting.
And plus, let's say the number is big, and you go to title company and lender and say, hey, I want to do this event, this is what I want to do. Let's say you want to do balloons for kids. Lawyer's title, probably is going to say lawyer's title on it, but they're, hey, we can give you 500 bags of lawyer's title balloons. Great. Sorry.
Well, then I found that what people don't do at the grassroots events is there's a lot of people at their booths who have no one stopping, and they're sitting there bored out of their mind. And if you team up and you have multiple people there, but you don't just focus on the people attending the event, but people working the event, and going and just striking up conversations with them and getting in front of them.
I have personally not had a lot. Events aren't my thing. I've tried, and like I said, I've tried to do them, and events aren't. It's not my gig. But if you have a passion for, think about it, that's an easy freeway too. Like I have a passion for this. Like I don't know. So let's say you ride motorcycles. Join a group of guys that ride motorcycles on Saturday, and every Saturday you ride, and hopefully there's not four of the 10 people in the group aren't realtors as well. But like I said, the broker that I first started working for, he's big into cycling, and I just know he gets a lot of business. Every week he goes cycling with about a group of 25 people. And he pulls a ton of business out of. He has a passion for cycling, and he happens to be the only realtor in that cycling group. So.
Well, anyone in here that has children, if you go on meetup.com and join one of the parenting groups, you go there and network with all the other parents, especially mom groups, because moms give moms business.
Awesome.
But you go there and now you're spending time with your kids and you're networking yourself and kind of cheaper.
If you're a mom and
it's free.
Like was it MOPS groups?
Yeah.
I think moms of preschoolers or And I mean, if you have a captive audience and you have a passion for your kids and being with family and being around other parents, you're not forcing yourself to be doing something that you're not.
Sometimes some of their friends don't, so.
Don't go to those.
I know, right?
Don't go to the dumb events.
The dumb events.
Anything else from the silent side of the? This is the chatty side, silent side.
Boomtown versus the other ones. You said you use follow-up for previous.
Yep.
But why the separation and what?
Boomtown's
The lead generation.
Boomtown's a lead generation platform. It is expensive. It has a very high cost of entry. So,
Okay.
but one that's offered free through the MLS, and I signed up for it just to check it out. It's fairly new. It's called Agent Squared IDX, and if you go in the MLS to the products tab, if you go to agentsquaredidx.com, they do have a free version, and it was really, really easy to sign up. I literally clicked on it, and it's all hooked into the MLS, and it had this circle, and it said generating this, and about an hour later, a gentleman named John Bendos, he called me and wanted to give me a whole rundown, and I told him exactly what I was doing this for. He's like, oh, if you want, I'm the director of sales. Do you want to give out my number? So if you want, his name is John Bendos, and his number is 520-265-5434. So it's offered through our MLS. They do have a paid version, and even the paid version was for an IDX, which is basically, an IDX where you can set people up and they can search for homes. It was really affordable, and from what he was running me through, it does what you need it to do. So if you don't have a website and you want to have a website, that's a great.
$99 a month.
What was that?
$99 a month.
Yeah, it's $99, and it's on a month. It's on a month to month, so you don't have to sign in any type of contract. You're not locked in for act. You can pay yearly, and I think their yearly rate takes it down to like 75. Takes it down to $70 or $75 a month.
We got pretty pushy salesmen that call you too.
He was a little pushy. I just told him exactly. I said, this is what I'm trying to do, and this is why I signed up for it. And he took me through a demo and played around with it. For what it was, and the cost of what it was, it serves the purpose. But if you're going to have a website, also, I'd recommend make sure your websites are revenue-producing websites. Don't have a whole pretty website that doesn't do anything for you, because people buying and selling houses, they're going to go to your website. They're probably going to read about you because they want to know, like, and trust you before they do business. They're not playing around with all the other tabs. So I would say if you're going to have a website, make sure people can go to it and search for homes.
That's what they want.
Yeah, they want to buy the home. They want to see what their neighbor's home with. It needs to have something that captures their information so you can call them. I see a lot of people, oh, this pretty website, and you go to it and it's pretty, but it does nothing except look pretty and. Anything else? Got it. All right. I came up with 10 things that I think that you should do every week to be successful, and I'll guarantee it. It's a good guarantee, but you have to follow it. If you don't do any of it, it didn't work. It's because you did, and then you do. Oh no, I missed a day, and I missed 3 days, and I only did half an hour instead of an hour. It doesn't count. But 1 hour appointment setting daily, 5 days a week. Put it in your calendar and protect it. Like, if somebody invaded that space, you would die. So pick a time that's good for you, and you know your schedule better than anybody else. Pick a time. I think I can get in front of people. People will answer the phone, and then pick a time when you normally. Crap's not blowing up in your world. So basically, it's very easy to protect. I prefer mornings, 9:30 to 10:30. That's my time. A lot of times I'm leaving a voice message, sometimes I'm catching people, but do that an hour a day, 5 days a week. And I do mine Monday through Friday. I don't prospect on Saturday and Sunday. If you want to prospect Saturday and Sunday, more power to you.
Do you always call, or do you ever try to text?
I call, text, and email. So if it comes to new leads, I always call, and I'll add speed to lead. Try to call people within the first 5 minutes, kind of while they're in the mode of home buying. And I think that's happened to me before, when you're buying anything and you click on something online, and 2 days later somebody calls you, oh, you clicked on this online. You're like, well, cool, I was thinking about that 2 days ago. And then the conversation usually goes, oh, well, you're not in that mode to do that anymore, so click. So, but I call, text, all my new leads, I call, text, email, call, text, email, call, text, email. Usually I always leave with a call, so. But 3 handwritten cards per week. So whether it be a thank you card, a birthday card, a just thinking of you card, any type of card. You can go to the dollar store, buy the dollar cards, and if you're like, I don't know when people's birthdays are, Facebook. So go to the birthdays tab, find out when everybody's, you can even, and a lot of times if I think I'm gonna have a busy week, I write all my cards out. I've done it for the whole month. I'll take like 3 or 4 hours, I'll write all my cards out for the month, stamp them, and then I just put a post-it note on them that says drop in the mail on X. And that way, it doesn't get away from me. But the thing is that people don't do that anymore. But then when you get something in the mail that's handwritten, hand addressed, I mean, it makes people feel special that you didn't send them a mass text message or go on Facebook. On Facebook, I think you don't even have to type anything. You can just click and it says happy birthday. So wow, you did what everybody else did. But I know we're
Following
talking
up on open house is a good thing also for cards.
Oh.
Just because conversationally I ask you to live in the neighborhood, because you'll get those people who live in the neighborhood for a new on the market.
Yeah.
And they'll give you their name, but they won't tell you the address, but Monsoon knows where they live.
There you go. Nice. So, a good point. And any reason to send a card, just to get in front of people so you're top of mind. Facebook video, one Facebook video per week. So that's the catch. I know I'll be hate to do it, so none of you are going to succeed. But one Facebook video a week. Topics are endless, and if you probably wanted to know what to do a Facebook video of, go to Google and type in cool Facebook videos to do. Or if you want to know what people are Googling in real estate, type in, and if you're nosed on Google, when you start to type, it starts to fill everything in for you. Well, those are based on what other people are searching for. So if you're like, well, what do I do a video on? Start Googling real estate in Phoenix, and you'll probably all of a sudden a list of 20 things that you can click on. That's what people are wondering. So I'm going to do a video on that. So one Facebook video a week, at least five Facebook/Instagram posts a week. Anyone know who Gary Vaynerchuk is? So his big thing, you don't want to come at people with business all the time, because then people will unfollow you. But I usually use a rule of thumb: personal business, personal business. So baby puppy business, baby puppy business. So Facebook, 2 coffee meetings a week, and these aren't coffee meetings with your title companies, your vendors, but when you need to, I guess, give people, you're calling people, your past client, your sphere, and say, hey, I haven't talked to you in a while, Bob Smith, how's everything going in your world? Oh, it's going great, I haven't seen you in a while. Hey, what are you doing? And you look at your calendar, because it's all nicely time blocked. You know, what are you doing Thursday at 4 or Tuesday at 3? I'd love to take you out and have Starbucks. Oh, inevitably, if you give people choices, they'll hopefully pick one of the times. Sit down with them at Starbucks, and just human nature, when I ask you, hey, how's everything going in your life, and you tell me about it, and then inherently when you're done, you go,
All things going with you.
great. Oh, it's awesome, man, real estate's so busy right now. Man, I just can't keep up, and I'm buying and selling houses, and oh, how's the market? So you'd be surprised, just getting in front of people, and without being salesy, they'll inevitably be interested in what you do. But face to face, not over the phone, just how people interact. 10 door knocks a week, so that is 10 actual knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell, trying to get somebody to answer it. So it's not like sneaking up past the ring doorbell and trying to sneak something in the door.
Stealth flying.
Yeah, so not stealth flying. So 10 doors, but find a reason to knock. Find another My Home Group person that has their My Home Group logo on there, and knock and say, hey, I work for My Home Group. Hey, I'm doing an open house. Hey, I sold your neighbor's home. Wait till the sign goes down. Hey, your neighbor's home was sold for this. Let's say you want to go work on renters. Get a list. You can, if you know how to manipulate Monsoon, you could find a list of renters' addresses. If not, your title company can probably give you a list of rental addresses, and knock on the door with the down payment assistance flyer. Say, hey, are you renting this home? And sometimes yes, sometimes no, because the tax records are wrong. But just 1,000 reasons to go knock on doors. One open house a week, very easy to do. And if you don't have signs, they don't have to be pretty. just go to Home Depot and buy open house signs that for sale by owner people use. And if you don't want to go that route, I guarantee if you probably went on the My Home Group mastermind page, there's somebody out there with open house signs that you can borrow. Or if you want, for a small fee, and usually with your title and your lender, you can hire open house helpers, who's owned by Dustin Hollendrink, the guy who was in here before with the big red beard. He has a company, but anywhere from, I think it's $75 to $150, and once you split that out with your lenders, it's pretty cost effective. They'll put anywhere from, I think it's 10 signs to, I think they have like a 100 sign package if you actually want to obliterate it. But then I also recommend doing 25 just flyers, just flyers. You can do more, but 25 minimum. So you might go out and knock 10, flyer 25, knock 10, flyer 25, knock 10, flyer 25. And script practicing 3 times a week for 15 minutes. 3 times a week for 15 minutes. But pick scripts, find somebody that you can practice with, and say, hey, you play the buyer, I'll play this, and then for a couple minutes, and then flip flop, and then maybe, hey, on our next call, that didn't go so smoothly, let's do that again. And then maybe, yeah, that went pretty good. Hey, I really want to focus on sellers, and then you roll into seller script. That way, you're practicing, and then when you get in front of the actual people, it'll just start rolling off your tongue, and then when you're ad-libbing, you'd be surprised. You think you're ad-libbing, but you're scripting, and then you find that you've asked all the right questions, done the right things, and people are listening to you and saying, "Oh, cool, yeah, let's do business," and then you end up with 70% of people that you talk to door knocking. And then my biggest thing is keep up with the market and have market knowledge, so that I think that really lacks in our industry, and I'm a big advocate of knowledge. I call it being the knowledge broker. There are threats out there that we can't control, but I think a lot of that too is the public's perception of what we are not delivering this is my opinion, but as a profession we aren't delivering to the public. So your Open Doors, your Zillow, they're coming in because the consumer, there's something lacking. I mean, they're there, we can't control them, but what do you mean by keep up with the market, right? You just need to know what's going on with the market. So I said, Emma, sorry, what's your name? Jermaine, how's the market?
Seller's market.
Cool. How many days, what's the average days on the market right now?
What neighborhood?
In Phoenix Metro.
I'm gonna lie, but 59. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, just to know your numbers. Because if you were like, well, I don't know. Well, if I'm going to list my house with you, and I don't know you, I want somebody who knows what they're talking about. And it's really sometimes your opportunity. You have this amount of time to make this type of an impression with people, and they go, hey, how's the market? And you're like, well, that's good. And you're just basing it off. You're just winging it. I just look at that as you're not doing justice for the profession. You're not doing justice for the public. I mean, the public deserves a better real estate experience, and unfortunately, the 64,000 people, yes, some are delivering at an absolutely awesome rate and doing good, but then there's a lot of people out there that just.
So where do you get that information besides the Comfort report?
So, if you want, every month, and I don't know how to do this, but I bet if you call Armless, somehow I got on the subscription, every month they send something called Armless Stats. It's very, very easy to read with very, very easy graphs on monthly sales, days on the market. They give you, usually they'll have somebody that they interview that gives you some type of commentary on the market.
You can go on their website and they've got that.
Perfect, there you go.
Yeah.
So.
And you can pull by zip code, you can pull stats by zip code.
You can go back and see history.
Yeah. So when somebody goes, hey, what's the average price in Phoenix right now? You go, oh, it's as of March 316,365 days. Instead of pulling out this, I think it's 300,000. You don't sound like the authority.
In other words, you're gonna try to remember all cities, right?
Or where you
know an area that you are
like where you working. Yeah. I mean, if you're always going to a Starbucks, where do you live?
Gilbert.
And if you're always going to a Starbucks at Gilbert, more than likely nobody cares about Goodyear. So, Goodyear, it's in Gilbert it's X amount of days and homes are selling, and how big's your home? I mean, you can get really granular on your knowledge. But I mean, just having the knowledge. Like, just a lot of people out there right now that have zero knowledge. Their knowledge is how to operate their armless key, and how to kind of fill out a good and kind of fill out an all right purchase agreement, and that's their knowledge. And I think those are the people that are probably going to be statistically non-existent in the next period of time. So, but I mean, you can have this. Do you want this?
I think I'm subscribed.
Okay.
I don't really.
Yeah, every month.
I do that.
Yeah.
So Lawyer's Title will also subscribe you to a market report. They no longer can do Cromford,
Okay.
because Cromford says you gotta be an agent. But they have, and I can't think of the name of it, because I subscribe to Cromford, but Lawyer's Title has a pretty good the Altos market report, so call your rep at Lawyer's Title, tell them that whatever zip code you want, they'll send you an Altos report, and just read that and know kind of the top. You don't need to know every fact on the sheet. If you know the top 3 or 4 that you're going to follow, then you sound like you know what you're doing.
I'm just a big advocate. So I think if you do the right activities, but then also know what you're talking about. Because if you're doing the right things, you'll get in front of the people that want to know things. But if you don't know what to say and you don't know what you're saying, you're going to sound like an idiot, right? And then you're gonna be at the end. Oh, do you want to sell your house? You want to buy a house? And they're like, why would I want to do business with you? You don't seem to know anything about real estate. It's like, wow, that guy. I mean, even if you kind of know general statistics, but you can, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. But this, Cromford's a little bit harder to navigate. This is really simple, easy. So do those 10 things, and you shall succeed. And also, just one last thing, as far as prospecting goes. I use it's called 5-5-4. So the first 5 is past clients and sphere. The second 5 is basically new conversations, and the last 4 is follow up. So I would say at least every day, if you do your 5-5-4s. So 5 past clients or sphere. 5 lead follow up. 5 is new, and then 4 is lead follow up. Because that's half the battle too. Is okay, I'm gonna make my prospecting calls. I'm gonna get ready, and I got the air conditioning on, and I'm ready, and all of a sudden it's an hour and you're ready, right? So
Get ready to get ready.
Get ready to get ready. Oh, air conditioning, and I need this on. But I think knowing, okay, I'm gonna sit down. It's 9:30. It's my my appointment setting time, and even play games. Like I'm gonna have a contest with myself. I'm gonna set 3 appointments this week, and if I don't set 3 appointments, then have a consequence. At least you know what you're gonna sit down. You know who to call. Okay, write 5-5-4, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4. And sometimes if I have the time, I'll try to do it the day before. Just that way, when it's 9:30, I'm not then filling this out. I filled it out, so it's 9:30. Okay, I'm gonna call Bob Smith, and I'm gonna call Sue Johnson, and I'm gonna call this and that. And then I put all the notes in my CRM. That way, next time I call them, I don't ask them the same questions over and over again, or maybe they said, "Oh, call me next week." And,
Do you use a dialer with your CRM?
no, I just pick up and dial. Some people have, some people that's their business model. They have like a Mojo dialer or something like that, where they're dialing 800 people.
Yeah, they're targeting hundreds of people.
Or slide dials or slide broadcasts, things like that. So, any other questions? Anything of interest? I don't even know where I'm at for time. As I tried to make this as interesting as possible. Nothing is groundbreaking, but sometimes I think a lot of the answers are already in your head. It's just doing them, so you don't end up a horrible statistic and then you're back doing something you hate.
You're farming. What's your average household in your farming?
My average
The price, like
375,000, give or take. So.
Would you recommend under 270, or where would you recommend not farming? Kind of under 200, where would you not touch?
Here's the deal with farming: you need to have the money to commit to it for an extended period of time.
Like 6 months.
I mean, think about your mailbox, and I have the same thing. I'll get somebody that'll mail me 1 month, mail me the next month, and then I never see them again. And then you'll see somebody else that'll mail a just listed card, and I never see anything from them again. If you look at people that do farming on a really high level, geographic farming, it's consistency, and you really need to, it takes, I mean, you might get lucky and send out something and get an instant response, but usually it takes some time. It's farming, right? You plant the seed, you water the seed, think of it the same way.
2-3 years before you can get consistent results.
And I think usually if you're farming the right area, you want to pick an area that said you want to get with your title company that people are actually moving to and from. Thank you. It's not price point. To me, it's, I mean, you might, it's are people buying and selling? Because if people, you could pick, I'm going to farm 300,000, I'm going to farm this tract of homes. Well, if nobody's really actively selling in that neighborhood, you just kind of, in my opinion, just kind of blowing your money. But you can start small, and then as you see your farm cultivate, you can add growing. I mean, I use every door direct mail, which you have to pick a certain segment of mailboxes, and in my subdivision, each segment's about 750 mailboxes. But I get the postcards and send them out, but it goes to every mailbox. That's the most cost-effective way to get them out. When you do it on a big scale, it is expensive. But you could start your farming with, depending on the size, with just good old-fashioned flyers and do it yourself, or you can hire, you know, if you have, I don't know, you have to find out the dollars per door, but Arizona Flyer guy, and like, oh, that makes sense to do it. And this flyer cost me, 5 cents to produce. You might be able to hit every door with something like that on a 25-cent. I'd probably say 25, realistically 25 cents a door, which is, that's pretty good. So, but you have to commit. If you're going to farm, figure out how much it's going to cost.
How many times a month are you hitting them in the EDD? Twice or?
It depends. Usually, like right now, actually this month is through July, I go 2 times, and then in November, December, I do it one. Like later in the year, I do it kind of once every 2 months, and then January is one, February is one, March is one. Actually, April. So April, May. April this month was twice. Next month twice. Then I usually, once July hits, that's my second 2 times. Then I go back to a 1 time.
Are you doing your own content, or you're hiring that out, or?
I have a graphic designer that one of the title companies has a graphic designer that does all my designing and printing at a low cost. So, but it's expensive. I mean, for me to mail and print to 3,700 homes right now, it's costing me about just shy of $1,000 a month.
So when you first started out, though, obviously you picked one segment. What made you choose the segment? Like, what made you? Were you already living there, or you just?
Yeah. I mean, well, thank you. I farm the subdivision that I live in, but it just so happens that it has about 7% turnover every year.
Well, what subdivision do you live in? Because I don't want to tax.
Seville? Where do you live?
I live in Lyons.
Lyons Gate's good. I mean, especially, do you live do you live in one of the, like, what kind of home do you live in?
It's 3,100 square foot, but it's
Thank you.
It's